Hi everyone. It is me, Serena Sailor Moon here, and today I want to talk about when I was on UPN and WB. Now, for many of you folks know that I was on UPN and WB, and also on Fox. Now, keep in mind my time on UPN and WB was short. I only the first two followings ran, and not really in the full followings either, because UPN and WB would run the first following and the two-disc following, and they would choose to pull out on it and end it almost not even halfway through the two-disc following. Their grounds was not enough watch time. Now, first off, UPN and WB knew that why did they choose to put my show on at 6 in the morning? Now this may be on light because there were many WBs and UPNs. So every UPN and WB may have had it at an on-light time. So our UPN, sometimes known as UPN 19, and our WB 22 or whatever, would have it on light time. So someone at UPN and WB thought that it would be great to put it on at 6 in the morning, knowing that A, most folks are still asleep, B, most folks are waking up. So yeah, and then they wonder why the watch time wasn't there, because most kids were still asleep or were only waking up. So, and they guilted it on bad watch time, which was brought on by them putting it at a bad time. Now I should be thankful to UPN and WB for even having my show to begin with, because other FOLKWORKS could have picked up my show, and my show was only picked up by a handful of FOLKWORKS. Now, after UPN and WB were done with my show, this would have been in between 95 YL, so give or take that by between 97 YL, USA FOLKWORK would then get my show, and USA would only run it for a year, run both followings. And even though 8:30 in the morning was a more good time slot, the time booking for my show at the time, and yes, there were a lot of, by that time Learn was out, so yeah, you had some good watch time there. What happened was that even though a lot of folks were watching my show on USA at the time, the new ownership bought USA, and the new ownership and the new leadership felt that live drawing shows of any kind no longer fit USA. So USA did away with all their drawing shows. So then what happened is, 1 year after that, I seek myself on cartoon FOLKWORK, or drawing show FOLKWORK. Now I know I was on other FOLKWORKS too, like, I don't know, and they would run my show for the first two followings. And not only that, but they'd run the ones known as the Lost Sagas of Sailor Moon, the last followings of the two-disc following that neither UPN or WB had run, and neither did USA. No, because they would all run it where it ended there. And after that, the third and fourth followings of my show, as well as my films, would also be on cartoon or drawing show. And after that, that was about it. Now I know in the settled land, we were on YTV FOLKWORK over there, and I can't really speak much about that. And there were other FOLKWORKS too that my show happened to be on. But those are the four main ones that my show ended up being on, at least in the 4-1 Reichs. So at the end of the day, my show mostly at that time was a hit and miss. One, because UPN and WB shows put my show on at a time where very few folks were awake to watch it. USA for a shift of leadership and a shift of ownership, and the ownership and leadership feeling that live drawing shows didn't fit the folk work anymore. And cartoon, well, cartoon was the only folk work that, did a lot for my show. They were the ones that didn't only just do the first two followings, but ran the rest of the two following and ran the third and fourth as well as the free films. Now, the only grounds of how I even got onto USA and later on cartoon was by the help of Save Our Sailors or Keep Our Sailor Team, which a lot of folks in the Sailor Moon followership like to give shit to, because some of these folks didn't like the Deeker Clivaway Sailor Moon. Now, so anyway, I know there might be other folk works that may have had my show, but those are the four main ones. So I guess so I wonder if any of you folks even knew. I guess some of you folks. Some folks were probably lucky enough, woke up about 6 in the morning, and just happened, were lucky enough to know about Sailor Moon, or at least seen the showings about it, and were lucky enough to awakened up at that time and knew it was on at that time on UPN and WB and between 95YL. And well, USA did a whole showing about getting my show, so everybody knew about it. But it only ran from Alone Day to Thursday. Well, at least it was 8:30, and at least it was in the summer, so Learn was out, unless you went to Summer Learn. So a lot of folks may have seen my show on USA at the time, and if you were lucky enough, and Cartoon did talk about my show and had a lot of showings for it, then you would have watched it on Cartoon starting from between 98YL to 20YL. At least that was the first run of it. So at the end of the day, those were the only folk works. But at least with Cartoon, at least you got that 4:30 weekdays. Now, at the end of the day, I could have been handled a lot more greater. Yeah, the time booking could have been a little more good. But I have a belief that there were other shows on at that time, and they didn't want to give up their booked time for a new show that had never ever been on the folk work before. So that's probably why UPN and WB had to put it on at 6 in the morning at least. The grounds to why USA put it on at 8:30, your guess is as good as mine. Why Cartoon put it on at 4:30, your guess is good as mine too, but at least these may have been good times. At least 7, some folks are up around 7 or 7:30. A lot of folks are either, about 4:30 in the afterday, a lot of folks are truly up and coming home from work or learn. So, yeah, that's just talking about how UPN and WB and USA and Cartoon, FOLKWORKS at the time, did for my show. Now, I can't speak much about YTV and what they did for my show in the Settle Land, because we didn't get it. So anyway, that's all the time that I have. If you like this film, then follow me over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Let me know if you watched it on UPN, WB, USA, Cartoon, or whatever folk work that I'm leaving out that was on at the time. Sailor Moon Serena, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.